Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Thursday, September 22nd, 2022. Stand up for your country. So I watched a Trump interview last night. I don't have any sound bites for you. It was a little too windy. I mean, I'm not. It's not a criticism, but it just was in and out of explanations. I mean, obviously he said he didn't do anything wrong in the New York civil suit, and he said he didn't do anything wrong in the document archive situation. Okay. But the point is that we're back to all Trump all the time, and that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So Donald Trump dominates the news cycle again. And, you know, I expect the news agencies will get higher ratings yesterday because of him. And Americans remain fascinated with Donald Trump. You love him or you hate him, but people aren't tuning him out after all this time. So I just want to go over the essentials of the situations with Mr. Trump so you understand what is real and what is not real, because you can't get this on television or newspaper news. You just can't. So number one, I don't know what he did or did not do. I couldn't possibly know. I don't know whether he's guilty of bank fraud or taking classified documents. I don't know. Okay? So I'm upfront about it. I can't acquit him. I can't convict him. Here's what I do know. That Attorney General Letitia James of New York State is a far left person who campaigned to get, G-E-T, Donald Trump. And it took her 3 years, and she finally came up with a civil lawsuit of bank fraud. Okay. I also know that the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, remember, James is the state attorney general. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office, where this bank fraud allegedly happened, wouldn't bring anything. And this is an extremely left-wing DA, Alvin Bragg. They dropped it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The other thing, and I got all kinds of emails and texts from my liberal friends saying that Letitia James did not have the power to indict Trump criminally for bank fraud, which is just false. And I wrote that back. I said, that's wrong. If an attorney general is investigating anyone in any state and criminal activity appears that the attorney general believes you can prove, you got to charge him with a crime. Have to. That's your oath. Okay? So that's all bull. And finally, the reason she did charge him civilly is because it's a lot easier to get a conviction civilly. And this thing's never going to get into a courtroom in a million years. They'll settle it. But two other things. If there were bank fraud, why aren't the banks involved with the civil lawsuit? Why aren't the banks involved? They could be on the suit. They're not. And I'll tell you why. They got all their money back. The Trump organization repaid all the bank loans. So there's no victim. Banks aren't a victim. Banks made money. Right? So where's the crime? And Trump says, and I haven't verified this because I can't possibly verify it, that on each bank application that the Trump organization made, there was a disclaimer. This is what Donald Trump said last night. And the disclaimer said, look, these are our valuations of our property, but you got to make your own. If that's true, there's no case because the bank accepted what Trump told them in the application and gave him the loan, and then Trump paid it back. Does it make any sense to you at all that you would file a $250 million lawsuit with all of those facts that I just told you? No. It makes no sense at all. But there is a reason. And I'm going to come back to that reason in a moment because it's extremely important. Now, on the prosecution itself, Bill Barr, no fan of Donald Trump, the former Attorney General, Bill Barr, he said this, go.
It's hard for me not to conclude it's a political hit job. And this is a woman who campaigned for office promising she was going to go after Trump, which I think is a tremendous abuse of office, to go headhunting and targeting individuals. So I think she was targeting Trump. And this is, after 3 years, a civil lawsuit, the gist of which is that when the Trump organization borrowed money, Trump personally guaranteed those loans. And to support that, she's claiming that he inflated his assets on his financial statements. Now, I'm not even sure she has a good case against Trump himself, but what ultimately persuades me that this is a political hit job is she grossly overreaches when she tries to drag the children into this.
That's the best analysis you'll see right there. And again, Barr's no friend of Trump. Now, why did Letitia James do this? It goes to the gubernatorial race in New York State. James is buddies with Governor Kathy Hochul, pals. Hochul is in trouble. The Republican, Lee Zeldin, running against her, is gaining on Hochul. Hochul's messaging, her TV commercials, is all about how Zeldin and Trump are buddies. Not issues that pertain to New York State. It's trying to demonize Zeldin by linking Trump up to him because Trump is not popular in New York State. That's what this is about. 5 weeks before the gubernatorial vote, we'll get Trump and demonize him more in the heads of the New York voters, so they vote for Hochul over Zeldin. That's what this is about. This is called the Democratic machine. This is what they do. So here in New York State, we have quality of life decline unprecedented, violent crime streaking, highest taxes in the nation, out of control transportation. People are afraid to go on the subways. The traffic, it takes 2 hours to go 20 miles. Kathy Hochul has no clue how to solve anything. She's one of the worst governors in the country. And that's beyond any reasonable doubt. She's behind the no bail law that lets violent criminals out on the streets. She gave a no bid contract to a New Jersey man who donates money to her campaign. The man receives state funds, hundreds of thousands of dollars, for COVID testing. I mean, this is a woman who's corrupt off the chart. Zeldin's coming up in a very heavily Democratic state. So Letitia James steps in. This is just dirty. It's just awful. Now, I hope Lee Zeldin beats Kathy Hochul. I hope no one votes for Kathy Hochul. What are you voting for? More dead people in the streets? Is that what you're voting for? More slashes on the subway? Higher taxes that are killing working men and women in New York, which has lost 3 million people in the last 7 or 8 years? Is that what you're voting for? You want more of that? I don't care if Lee Zeldin goes camping with Donald Trump. I couldn't care less. I want somebody to solve some problems in this state. I live here. So anyway, I hope you're getting the complete picture now. You will get it nowhere else. You will get it nowhere else, which is why you watch and listen to the No Spin News. Okay, Mar-a-Lago. Now here's the thing about Mar-a-Lago. If you read my book, The United States of Trump, which is basically a look at him, the man, no politics in the book, all right? Everything that Donald Trump has ever done since he's 5 years old has been transactional. That means he does things to benefit him. Some of it doesn't work out, but that's always the calculation. Where does it benefit him to take classified documents from the White House to Mar-a-Lago? How? How does that benefit him? It doesn't. It doesn't benefit him. It can't benefit him. If you wanted the information from the classified documents, just copy it down and put it in your computer. That's what Obama did. Obama took a whole bunch of stuff because he wanted to write the book, which he wrote and got tens of millions of dollars. But Obama didn't take Or if he did, he gave it back from the archives, classified information. Now, I don't know what Trump took or why he took it, but I can't analyze the story any further until I know that. And nobody knows that because he's never clarified it. He says, well, I declassified some, and well, they didn't have this, and I had that. But is there any reason on earth you would have put yourself in jeopardy by taking classified information from Washington to Florida? No. It makes no sense at all. The bank loans in New York, that makes sense. Trump Organization wanted bank loans. Does this make sense? Again, if Trump were going to write a book, or if he were building an archive for himself for his upcoming museum, all the presidents have places you can go to see what they did. Okay, you just copy the stuff down. You don't need the originals. Just have somebody transcribe the stuff. It doesn't make this makes no sense. Anyway, a 3-judge appeals federal panel said the Department of Justice can resume looking at the documents. I'm not going to say anything more about it because I don't know. All right, I know for sure about the New York State stuff. That's just bogus across the board. Here, I don't know. It's not clarified. I can give you an opinion, which is what they do on TV news all day long, but what good is that? My opinion is not based on anything, because I don't know. Now, I hope the next interview Donald Trump gives, he'll address that question. Why would you do it? Why? Do you care about your privacy? Giant tech companies and different alphabet agencies within the U.S. government are spying on our messages, abusing our privacy, monetizing our data. Frankly, you are probably not paying enough attention to what's going on, and neither am I. Secure, spelled S-E-K-U-R, has proprietary technology allowing you to send messages and emails encrypted and hosted in Switzerland. This means they are not subject to the Cloud Act. They're only subject to Swiss laws, which are some of the safest in the world. Secure is a company that actually cares about your freedom and privacy. That's why they built this platform and why they are sponsoring my program. Best of all, they are offering 15% off when you use promo code BILL. So please go to secure.com, that's SEKUR.com, use promo code BILL. For less than $10, you can get Secure today. Okay, let's go to President Biden. So this is a real, the cliche is, this is a tell. It's a new trendy speak. This is a tell. So Biden's in New York today. He meets with the Philippine president, Marcos Jr. He runs around. He does another DNC reception. And then he leaves New York City at 5:55 p.m. All right, get that off the screen. And those of you listening to me on the radio, you don't need to see it. 5:55 p.m., Biden leaves New York City. Why? That shuts down all the commuter traffic in the afternoon because the police have to shut down the roads before he leaves. So the whole region is thrown into chaos. Why couldn't Biden have a nice dinner somewhere? All right? And leave at 7:30 or 8. Would that have mattered? So the whole rush hour afternoon commute could have proceeded as normal. Why? There's no reason. Biden doesn't care. He just doesn't care. He probably never even thought about it. Oh, we're going to close all the roads on the east side of Manhattan. You go through the Midtown Tunnel. All the highways out to JFK we're going to close. Okay, that's fine. This is Biden saying. No, it's not. It's not fine. This is an indicator about the character of the man. And he's got to get back to D.C. tonight because Elton John is showing up tomorrow at the White House for a little concert. All right, the Rocket Man, Elton John. Now, I told you this before, but I was in Mr. John's presence in Atlanta, where he once had a home. I don't know if he still does. And he was in a car. I was in the back seat. He was in the front seat. We were going to a private concert where he was being paid gazillions of dollars. All right. I was part of the company I didn't pay him. I was working for the company. Okay. He was the weirdest guy. Not just to me, he didn't know who I was, but just in general, he was like, maybe he's a nice guy. I hope he is. Very strange. Rocket Man? Now, here is a poll that caught me completely by surprise. Harvard-Harris poll. 1,885 registered voters, okay? Last week. It talks about Trump versus Biden on key issues based upon what Donald Trump did in office then and what Biden's doing now. On the economy, and we're putting this up full screen, but you on the radio, I will read it. On the economy, Joe Biden's approval is now 37%. In January 2021, when Trump left office, his approval on the economy was 56%. Stimulating jobs, now Biden 44, January 21, Trump 58. Fighting terrorism, Biden 42, Trump 55. Immigration, Biden 37, Trump 52. Foreign affairs, Biden 40, Trump 52. Administering the government, Biden 41, Trump 49. Reacting to COVID, Biden 49, Trump 47. The only area where Biden tops Trump. And this poll, Harris has approval rating for Biden right now, 41. That's lower than most of the other polls. Disapprove 55. But here's the crunch. The last question. If the 2024 election for president were held today, and it was between Trump and Biden, who would you vote for? Trump 45, Biden 42, don't know 13. That's a stunning poll. So on every significant issue, Trump's numbers are higher than Biden's numbers. So you say, well, why the deuce did Americans vote for Joe Biden? Well, there's only two possible reasons. They hope Biden would do better than he is. I don't know why you would hope that, but some people did. And the second reason, and the most dramatic, is they hate Trump. Personality. All right, so Joe Biden goes on 60 Minutes last Sunday. Only, and I'm using only 10 million people tuned in. And that's coming off the football game on CBS. 10 million people. That's it. To watch Biden and Scott Pelley do the softest interview I've ever seen. We already analyzed it. Okay, Obama in November 2008, 60 Minutes, 25 million. Trump, 17 million October 2020, Leslie Stahl. Biden 10. Interesting, right? On the network side, NBC News puts on a new program, a daily program at 12 noon, okay? And it's called NBC News Daily. That's clever. It is the lowest rated program on daytime TV. Here are the ratings. Price is Right, 1 and 2. Young and the Restless is 3. Bold and the Beautiful, Let's Make a Deal, 5 and 6. The View, 7. Only 2 million people watch The View. That's it. General Hospital, 2 million. Today, Third Hour, 1.9. GMA Third Hour, 1.5. Today with Hoda and Jenna, 1.5. The Talk, 1.3. NBC News Daily, 935,000. That's almost impossible to do. Remember, this is NBC. They're everywhere, from Kona, Hawaii to Bangor, Maine. You could put a chimpanzee jumping up and down for an hour. You'd have to give him a water and food break. And you would get more than 935,000 people to watch. There we go. I wonder what that chimpanzee is doing. Incredible. So CNN announces today, and I'm only doing this because I'm spiteful. This is my fault. It is my character deficiency. I'm just giving you a viewer and listener warning. I don't care about CNN. I don't watch CNN. It does not, as the cliche goes, speak to me. Anyway, they got a big problem with ratings, as everybody knows. So at 9 o'clock, that's a Chris Cuomo slot, and he's gone. They're putting Jake Tapper in there temporarily. So if you know Jake Tapper, you know he's terrible on television. He's awful. Okay, he's just terrible. And in the afternoon, he used to be on in the afternoon, nobody watched him. He came in third in his time slot. Fox was 1, MSNBC 2, Tapper 3. So he's now rewarded with a primetime show where he'll be terrible because he is terrible. All right, if you're terrible on TV, you're not going to get better. It's just the way it is. You can, if you're young and you're working your way up, okay, but I think Tapper's 60 or something, right? He's not getting in big. So they promote him up. Now, Sean Hannity's on at 9 o'clock. Hannity will double him probably. But I'm just sitting there going, this is what you got? This guy didn't, nobody watched him in the afternoon. Why would they watch him at night? And now, there was no national significance to that story. That was just me because I don't like Jake Tapper. I just don't like him. He's a nasty human being, in my opinion. Now, he hates me. All right, he thinks I'm terrible. Just to be fair, I always wanted full disclosure. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization in America. I am an AMAC member, and you should be too. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits, insightful takes on today's news, and a magazine full of uncensored content that you will not find anywhere else. Most importantly, AMAC is working tirelessly to preserve the freedoms enshrined and secured by our Constitution. AMAC has become one of the most impactful organizations in America because more than just talk, AMAC gets things done. They are pushing back against the efforts to defund our police, weaken the borders, and replace your freedom with government control. But they need your help. Stand with me and more than 2 million patriots and join AMAC today at amac.us. That's amac.us. amac.us, and tell them O'Reilly sent you. All right, here's the final thought of the day. So, Killing Legends, The Lethal Danger of Celebrity comes out next Tuesday. And of course, I'm doing media like crazy. We're blackballed some places, and believe me, I know who's doing that. And, well, I know. But most places are very respectful to us, and we will be around promoting the book. And as I told you, it's a book of history. It's not the Hollywood Reporter or People magazine. These three men, Elvis Presley, John Lennon, Muhammad Ali, influenced American culture to an extent that it changed. And the changes in our culture are in play now. And then the weight of that, of their success, crushed them. And they were betrayed. And that's what the book is about. I think it's a fascinating history. I started with Killing Lincoln, and I admire Abraham Lincoln to this day more than any other U.S. president. A man of courage, horrible situation that he was handed. Wife was a lunatic. I mean, the guy had no relief. And he just got through it, and he was such a magnificent president and leader. And, most of the Killing books, again, Legends is the 12th, deal with titans like killing Patton and Jesus, killing Jesus. I mean, just off the chart. This book, coming off Killing the Killers, which basically is a primer on how the U.S. government is protecting us, all right, from death. Believe me, these people, these jihadists would kill us, every one of us. This book is different. This is cultural history. But none of us can get away from cultural history. And that's why we did this big segment on Vidgo. With the culture gone so far left. How did that happen? Well, history comes in many forms. And I think that when you read Killing the Legends, this is a book that will just fly by. I mean, it's woo. And, you know, you always get the Amazon reviews. Oh, I knew all that. I got that in Killing the Killers. It amuses me. I knew that. No, you didn't. Nobody knew what we have in Killing the Killers. It's all classified. The same thing with Elvis and Lenin and Muhammad Ali. It's not classified. But what we found out, you didn't know. And that's the beauty of the Killing series. And that's what I'll be promoting next week. And we're very grateful. I am very grateful for people put me on in the interview process and promote the book. And it's very nice of all of them to do it. So thank you for watching and listening tonight. New column Sunday noon. And we will see you again on Monday. Recently, you've heard me talk about our new streaming partner, Vidgo. Vidgo is an exciting new streaming service that gives you the live sports and programming you want at a price you can afford. With Vidgo, I get all of my favorite live sports networks, including ESPN, Fox Sports, as well as an incredible access to college football, with 80% of every televised college football game in the first 3 weeks of September. 80%. Vidgo has great choice of news as well, and entertainment program, including The First, Newsmax, OAN, Fox News, and more. I've enjoyed Vidgo so much that I'm going to do a new weekly program called Shock and Awe exclusively on Vidgo. Each week we'll break down the most important issues of the week, asking bold questions and sitting down for exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers. Vidgo gives you the freedom to be entertained at a price you can afford. Please go to vidgo.com/bill to sign up now, and for a limited time, get Vidgo's premium service for $64.99.